requested is world record tempo. It's a small field, but a very good quality one. Just 11 starters, and 2 of those are pacemakers. They've asked for 250 per kilometre, we understand. That would bring them home in 14 minutes 10, and the world record, I can tell you, by Tirunesh Dibaba back in 2008. All of 8 years ago now, 14:11.15. Pliss will be a pacemaker, as indeed will Wafula. Then we get to perhaps the favourite, Almaz Ayana, the world champion at 5,000 metres. When she got within 3 seconds or so of the world record last year in Shanghai, she said afterwards she didn't know what the world record was. She maybe could have taken it a year ago. Teferi, the world championship silver medalist, behind Ayana from Ethiopia, ran 14:46 just a few days ago in Germany. Bata, the European champion from 2014, great range, has great speed and strength as well. Viola Kibbe, 4th in the World Championships last year in Beijing, the Olympic 6th place, a very experienced, former World Junior Cross-Country champion. Aroye, then Kisa, Janet Kisa, the Commonwealth silver medalist, 6th in the Worlds last year. Yesane, Svetlana Kuzelic, and Lewetin complete the lineup there. 6 in this field have broken 15 minutes, but Almaz Ayana, one of the very few who in the history have gone under 14:20. Only 4 women have that achievement to their name. Will the wind put paid to it though? I'm just looking over at the second bend to our left, where the water jump is, and the women are running past now. But high up on the rim of the stadium there are flags, flagpoles with the flags blowing very, very stiffly indeed. If you're 50 or 60 feet up at the top of the stands, there's a real, not a gale, but incredibly strong winds blowing in off the Atlantic just a couple of miles away. So Wafula hits the front ahead of Pliss then. They need to be running 68 seconds.
And in second place.
Well, back to this very small field. Bata second from the back there with that high head bun of hers. The Swede, Eritrean-born athlete, moved to Sweden in 2008. There she is, top left of picture, right towards the back of the field. Yeshane moving down the outside there as Ayana slots into 3rd place with that high arm carriage style of hers. But it's going to be a tough call. There's 68 seconds per lap in these conditions, when you think that the world record by Dibaba was set on a glorious Scandinavian evening in Oslo 8 years ago. Defar set hers in Stockholm, funnily enough, the 2nd fastest time in history. Again, a lovely Scandinavian summer's night. But Wafula carrying quite a responsibility here. She needs to be going through here in around 2:16 as she comes towards the end of the back straight. Let's have a look. And she's done a pretty good job, I have to say. Hits it now, 2:16, 2:15 and a half. And certainly Ayana Stewart, back in about 3rd place, has gone through well inside schedule.
Yes, indeed, and I was very impressed with Ayana in Doha when she ran that 8:23.11 at 3,000 metres. It was very, very impressive, and she was in total command and ran the last part on her own, and it was only just 2/3 of the way through the race when she faltered a little bit. She went with the pacemaker, and then the pacemaker slowed a little bit. Then she went off on her own and got back onto schedule, and she was on schedule for inside the 8:20 time that she'd set. But very, very impressive, the world champion. It's her first outing over the distance for the season, and after that 3,000 metres, then you would expect that there'll be quite a good performance here from her tonight, as long as the wind, as you say, allows.
Well, congratulations to the pacemakers. They've hit that first kilometre almost to the 100th of a second. 2:50.06 at 1K for Wafula. Pliss in her wake. Ayana in 3rd place. Teferi, who tops the world rankings with that 2:46 clocking in at Herzogenaurach in Germany. Not just 4 or 5 days ago. She's in 4th. Ayana leading the main pack then of those who will continue. Bata, who has a best of 14:59, but is clearly worth a great deal quicker than that. She recently ran a strong 10k road race in 31:26, did the Swede Bata. Well, at the moment she's right still at the back of this group. I thought she might want to pay slightly closer attention to the front end as they go through with 9 laps to run. Pliss now at the front. The high knee style, the almost galloping style of Ayana in 2nd place. Teferi in 3rd. Ayana with that hunched-shouldered but rather free, relaxed, rangy movement of the upper body. Nice looking runner, and it's accentuated, of course, with the way she raises the knees so high up in front of her.
It'll be very interesting to see, Tim, how Teferi, who is at this point the world leader and in the event, but of course that's with 14:46, so this is going to be much better than that. And it'll be very interesting to see how she was the silver medalist in the World Championships in Beijing. She knows about Ayana, and I just wonder how, from that knowledge, how she will tackle Ayana here.
Well, 14:46 from Teferi, her lifetime best is 14:36. That's a gulf behind anything around 14:10, 14:15, and that gap is beginning to show now, because over the last 200 metres, so Ayana has cut loose and has eased away and goes through in front of us with 200 metres yet to the 2 kilometre point. But the gap has suddenly opened up very quickly indeed, and Barta caught at the back of the field there, nearest the camera as you see that shot. Sort of, I think, taken a bit by surprise. She's the sort of athlete, she's got the calibre with 4:01 1500 speed and 31, under 31.5 10 kilometre strength, and as a European 5,000 metre champion, I think she's got the ability to run quicker than this as Barta, but she's never done it before, and of course 5,000, a very tough event to come to terms with. If your personal best is 14:59, then anything around 14:40, 14:45 tonight would be a big improvement for Barta. But Ayana left a picture, striding away, streaking away with every stride, and she's gone through 2 kilometres, just waiting for that split to become apparent. Teferi isolated. It's going to be tough for her now. It really is, because 2 kilometres reached in 5:40.53 by Ayana, just about spot on. She wanted 5:40, she was half a second out of it. Metronomic running from the little Ethiopian, who leads now by 25 metres from Teferi, who in turn there is 20 metres ahead of this pack of the 5. Barta at the back of that pack of 5, which is led at the moment by Haroye, and then Yeshane and Kisa in 3rd, 4th and 5th.
Well, it's ironic, isn't it, that Ayana was motivated by the performances of Tiranish Dibaba, and now she chases the record that she holds. Superb, isn't it? It's metronome. It's Petr Malachowski of Poland.
Ayana it is then, who continues to plough on. 5.5 laps left. The gap has grown to fully 50 metres now as she passes the water jump. The crowd enjoying this one. It has whittled down a little bit, the size of the crowd, after seeing Agida produce that first home win of the day half an hour or so ago. I think many of them have headed home to the Rabat night to perhaps raise a glass and celebrate, but in front of them now, those who have stayed at least, perhaps his. Ayana then with the field spread out behind her, the pack of 5 with Barta still in at the back of that, probably 90 metres behind now. Teferi, if anything, slowing and gradually being reeled in by the chasing pack, but Ayana around the top bend has gone through 3,832. Well, it's fabulous work from the little Ethiopian. She needed 5:40 at 2,000, she hit it in 5:40. She needed 8:30 at 3,000, she hit it in 8:32, 8:32.3. She's still pretty much there. It's Almaz Ayana, comes through with 4 laps to run, 1 mile to go, but it's going to be a lone. Almaz Ayana just went through with 3 laps to go in 10:51. She needs, for the world record, the last 3 laps in 3 minutes 20. That equates to, well, your maths is probably better than mine, around 67 seconds per lap. She's been running metronomically at almost exactly 68 seconds per lap. Can she make up those 2 or 3 seconds on the final circuit as she goes through 4K in 11:26? She needed 11:20 there. She slowed. The slowest kilometre of the race was that 4th 2.5 lap segment. She rounds into the straight now with just over 2 laps to run. She's already started lapping athletes. The world record beckons for this little Ethiopia. Relatively unheard of before Shanghai last year when she exploded onto the world distance running scene. She's still only 24 years old. She's run superbly so far. She goes through in just outside 12 minutes, probably 12:01 there. It may be beyond her, a 2:11 last 800 metres, but it's been a mighty powerful effort from her. It will be one of the quickest times in history. Her own personal best, 14:14.32. The meeting record is 14:45. I don't think that's got too long to go. That was by Marianne Salsuli back in 2012. And Ayana now down the back straight. The whole just shoulders perhaps just a little bit more arched. Those arms just swinging a little bit more freely and violently almost as she goes through with 600 metres to run. Jot Herman's over there with 600 metres to run, urging her on, yelling her on from the infield. Her agent, man who has done so much to push back the barriers of distance running on the world scene over the last 20 years and more, and that after his own career as a world record breaker. Almaz Ayana then, in the zone, looks up for virtually the first time that I've seen as she comes towards the bell. 13:07, 8, 9, 10. Well, a 61-second lap surely is beyond even her. I fear that despite this brilliant effort, Tirunesh Dibaba's world record of 14:11.15, set just under 8 years ago, is safe for a while longer. But on a better evening without this wind, Stuart, with pacemaking further into the race, I think it's there for the taking.
Yeah, there are very few that can give her the pace that she wants, though. As, even over 3,000 metres it was found wanting, but at 5,000 it's been a lone race against the clock for her. She's still holding her form pretty well with just 200 metres to go, and it's been a fantastic demonstration of distance running over 5,000. She is the world champion, and she's got the Olympic year to come, and my goodness me, who can beat her? Well, we'll see if anybody can.
It's going to be mighty close, but I'm sure it'll be outside the world record here. This effort from Almaz Ayana, they raise to their feet here in the home straight, roaring her on. 30 metres to go. The world record has gone, but watch the clock. Nonetheless, it's been an astonishing effort from Ayana. 14:16.34. She was right on the case there to get it right for over 2/3 distance, probably for something like 3/4 distance. Second place there, coming home, a distant second place is Tamberi, I think. But, or Kibiwat, in fact, in second place, excuse me. I paid her so little attention in the last couple of laps with that world record threatened. Personal best from her, 14:29. Teferi in third place. Personal best for her, 14:35. Each of those first three, Ayana included, of course, letting a pretty lonely journey unfold over the last few laps, certainly over the second half of the race. So well done to them for such fabulous racing, such fabulous running against the clock, I should say, rather than racing, because most of them in isolation. Kisa in fourth place, 14:38, a personal best for her. Yeshanek in fifth place, 14:41, a personal best for her too. It's been a real feast of brilliant running against the clock, and for many, many minutes that world record was under threat. But Almaz Ayana, a world lead and meeting record, wins the 5,000 in 14:16.31.
Enthusiastic crowd here, seeing the world's greatest all in one stadium on this one day as Africa is introduced.
Outside Tirunesh Dibaba's world record, it was a fabulous display of front running though, winning very comfortably indeed. A national record for Bata in seventh place, 14:49, an improvement by some 10 seconds, so she does indeed broach new ground.